So I know with all the news that has come out over the last 24 to 48 hours, every team is going to be linked to guys like Myles Garrett or Cooper Kupp. I mean, I'll be honest, I used to make fun of rumors like that and thought they were ridiculous, but then I see what happened over in the NBA with the Lakers and Luka, and that completely made me rethink everything. And right now, the Arizona Cardinals are a team that I truly think is one star away from breaking through. And last year I harped on why people disrespected this team, and while they didn't finish out the year the way they would have hoped, I still think they are one star away from really being a complete team all around as the young guys start to get better and gain experience. Really, I just want this video to serve as a complete offseason guide for the Cardinals. I want to talk about the draft, trades, free agency, really everything. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. Alright, so as I'm pretty sure almost all of you know, the Cardinals finished the 2024 season with a record of 8-9. They definitely didn't finish the season how they wanted, and Kyler Murray did not finish the season how he wanted. So first, let's look at the draft. There are definitely a few areas that Arizona could look to improve in. Overall, there is young and raw talent everywhere, but in one of the most recent mock drafts I saw, the Cardinals are projected to take Jalen Walker, a linebacker out of Georgia. I think he's a guy that could take this defense over the top if developed right. And I mean, Arizona really has proven they can hang with anyone in the league. They just need that extra edge, and they need to finish. And then with the 47th pick, this is when things get real interesting. The Cardinals are positioned to have a chance to get Jack Sawyer. I know I'm an Ohio State fan, and I'm biased, but I would be all in on this pick. Sawyer is an absolute dog. He's a game wrecker. He plays his heart out. And if you all remember, he was already previously teammates with Marvin Harrison Jr. I actually have Sawyer a bit higher on my personal board. He just has TJ Watt written all over him. Like, he's a guy I could so see in a Steelers uniform without a doubt. But for this defense, he's a guy that would be willing to line up anywhere and be disruptive. Will his college success translate to the NFL level right away? I have no idea. But I know at some point he will figure it out, because that is just the type of guy he is. Next in the third round, I have Charles Grant, an offensive lineman that is kind of under the radar from a super small school in William and Mary. The write-up on him is that he brings an intriguing combination of arm length, mobility, and coordination that could make him a future starter at either guard or tackle in the pros with a redshirt year. So those are some of the targets that I've seen early on mock draft boards. And free agency is where things get even crazier. Monty Ossenfort really needs to turn up the heat when it comes to bringing in outside talent. But first, let's go over the guys that need to be brought back. And the first guy that instantly comes to mind is Kazir White. Ever since he came over from Philadelphia, White has brought stability, a high motor, and violence as Arizona's defensive quarterback. The 7-year veteran turned in one of his best seasons as a pro this year, behind 137 tackles, 9 of which were for losses. He had 2.5 sacks and an interception, and 8 QB hits across 17 starts. He appeared in 94% of the team's available defensive snaps. White, along with the versatile Mack Wilson Sr., who is signed for 2 more seasons, exceeded expectations and brought a solidified 1-2 punch to the inside linebackers room. You can't forget about his impact off the field either. There's a reason he was a 2-time captain, and why defensive coordinator Nick Rallis named his son after the bruising linebacker. The next must re-sign is offensive lineman Evan Brown. Coming over from Seattle this past offseason on a 1-year deal worth $2.3 million, Brown was one of 2 starting offensive linemen who appeared in all 17 games over at left guard. He also posted a strong 73.5 pass blocking grade from Pro Football Focus. Keeping Kyler Murray healthy and upright is imperative for this team's success in 2025. Keeping a guy around who gave up just 2 sacks on over 1,000 offensive snaps would help with that. There's something to be said about Brown's versatility as well. Being able to slide over to center or right guard is a luxury this team covers. The next 2 guys are LJ Collier and Roy Lopez. After an abbreviated first year in the desert, Collier put up his best season as a pro with 3.5 sacks, 4 tackles for a loss, 2 passes defensed, and 6 QB hits. On top of his 15 starts across 17 games played, the lineman has served as a huge asset within the defensive line room. He brings somewhat of a veteran presence, he's got some experience, and he's also coming from another team. Defensive line coach Derek LeBlanc said Friday, just his experience alone, his maturity, and obviously he's gotten better. If we would have have had him for a full season last year, how much better would we have been this year? He's gotten better all year, he's playing well now, his leadership and just his personality has been a pleasure to have. Lopez, meanwhile, logged 16 starts in his home state, recording a sack, 4 tackles for loss, 3 passes defensed, a forced fumble, and 3 QB hits. Anyways, now moving on to look at free agency and the trade market and what players are available to potentially bring in. With the cap space the Cardinals have, I think Myles Garrett is a must get, if it's even possible, and I don't care what it takes. I am a diehard Cleveland Browns fan, and I'll tell you guys, the dude just shows up to work, gives his all, and keeps his mouth shut. The Browns are an atrocity of an organization from top to bottom. It's easy for anyone to be a problem in the locker room, but really outside of that Mason Rudolph incident, he has been nothing but a light in the dark for Cleveland. And even that incident was mainly caused by Rudolph. There is no way he didn't say something racist or something close to it, because Garrett never crashes out like that, especially after a win. And football wise, the dude is an animal. He will take away 2 offensive linemen and still throughout the course of the year will put up defensive player of the year stats. But him taking away 2 linemen really opens up things for the other side of the line. The Browns just never gave Batman his Robin, so Cleveland never really fully benefited from it. But I think the Cardinals are a little more talented all around in terms of their defensive line if they had Garrett, and I do expect them to take somebody to add to this unit in the draft as well. So if you're the Cardinals, what should you give up for Myles Garrett? Because it seems like the Browns are for sure going to be trying to get at least 2 first-round picks for him. Well, let me just say something real quick. If the offer on the table is 2 firsts for Myles Garrett, you drop everything and accept the trade right then and there. Faster than the Lakers took to accept the Luka trade. Picks are so overvalued in the NFL. Everyone makes such a big deal about the draft, and yes, I do agree that building a young core is important, but why would you want 2 picks that probably realistically have below a 50% chance of working out, as opposed to getting a proven dominant force that can drastically change your defense and still has a good 2 to 3 years left of his prime? I don't even think it's a debate. Anyways, moving on, now let's talk Kyler Murray and this Arizona offense. Murray had an okay year, but he has received a lot of criticism from his play down the stretch of the season. He threw for 3,851 yards and 21 touchdowns, but the 11 interceptions and 66.6 QBR were the problem. This upcoming season, I really want him to develop a better connection with Marvin Harrison Jr., and I want him to take what is given. The greatest QBs in the league dink and dunk, and if Murray starts to do that, I really think he can be a top 5 QB in the league. He just needs to be a bit more disciplined, but talent-wise, I think this offense has the personnel to be super effective. And if the Cardinals land Garrett and fortify the defense, then look out. It could be an exciting time to be a Cardinals fan, but for now, all we can do is speculate. That's really all I have to say for this video. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe, because your support truly does mean the world. And also, let me know what you would like to see next, and until then, I will see you all later.